Well, hello there, guys, and welcome to another vlog and to another video in general. And that begs an explanation. Not that too many people are really watching this or paying any attention to it, and a couple of the people who do already know what was going on. But today is Saturday, May 9th, and a week ago yesterday, my dad left town after being here in town for pretty much a month straight. Now, if you're just stumbling across this video or this channel or whatever, and you haven't seen anything else, then you wouldn't understand. But for those who do know me, or any non-personal friends who watch this channel and watch any of my vlog type stuff, then you may remember that I've mentioned on many a time, many an occasion, that when it comes to my anxiety issues, my dad is a major source of anxiety. I guess it's a different kind of anxiety than the social anxiety that I get from dealing with customers in my job, or, like relationship-wise, approaching and talking to women, as something other than a friend. Those kind of anxieties are one thing, but I think my dad just produces a completely different kind of anxiety with me. So while he was here in town, and I'll get into a little bit more as to the why and what was going on during his visit. But while he was here, I had absolutely no motivation to sit down and do anything like this. A lot of times I didn't really have the time. I work, and then I come home, and everybody's got to do things like do your laundry, do your dishes, eat, sleep when the time comes. So when it all comes down to it, the free time that you have is pretty small. And I fill a lot of my free time up with the computer, with video games, movies, YouTube, stuff like that. And that's that's just, those are my things. Those are my jams. That's what I do when I have free time. And when my dad was here, that free time was so limited, it was pinched so thin that I didn't even have free time to sit down and do vlogs, to do any kind of other videos. It's really sad, too, because the day that he left was the first official day that I was on vacation. I was on vacation up until yesterday. Yesterday was my first day back to work. I was off work for 9 straight days. And my dad was out of town for a great portion of that, and I still didn't take the time to do anything like this. I just wanted to absorb every free second that I had on my vacation to just veg out. I mean, my entire life is pretty much me just vegging out and doing very little of anything, but the point was I just didn't have time to do this like I would have liked to. And now I finally sat down to make some time to just make this video to nobody nobody in particular, really. This is, like I said, not a lot of people are watching this channel, and definitely not a lot of people are watching these vlogs. At least not a lot of people ever really respond, so it's hard to imagine that people are watching the entirety of these and watching me talk to myself in front of this camera. But anyway, I just didn't really have the time, and now I've actually finally taken the time to sit down and do this. I've made time for it, so I just wanted to explain it. That's why the silence and all that kind of stuff. Now this is going to serve as another channel update thing. I've made a single decision about my channel, and that's that there will be no more of the movie review type videos like the recent viewing. It's another anxiety issue, a bit of a stress point for me. I sit down and watch a movie, and then I feel like I gotta come over here and sit down and give my thoughts on it before the thoughts drift away. Most of the time that doesn't happen. It may be the next day or several days later before I am finally able to remember to take the time to do the recent viewing video. And some of those videos get views and some of them don't get anything. Once again, there's no engagement. Nobody really says anything about them. And I just would like to be able to sit down and watch movies free form, spontaneously, just watch it and go, and not feel like I have to come over here and do this. I'm not going to do away with the recent gaming videos. I know that those don't come out very often, but that's because games take longer to play and experience, and that's why I do want to do videos about them. I have a lot more time with a game than I do with a movie. I might still do recent viewing things when I finish like an entire season of a TV show, but no more with the movies. I just don't feel like it's necessary. Sorry if anybody cares and it disappoints them or whatever, but I can't. It's something I have to just do away with so I can watch a movie when I feel like it, and that's that. So that's really the only major update thing. I do want to come back and get into the videos. I squandered my vacation time, like I said before. I really wanted to do my strategy guide collection videos on my vacation, and I wanted to do some other stuff that has to do with like my setup here. That just didn't happen. But I want to get those things done. I need to figure out how to do it. Right now, I need to sort a lot of stuff out with my life. And if I could get some of that stuff done, some of this kind of thing might be a little bit easier for me to do more often. But there's just a lot of stuff that I have to take care of personally and whatnot to kind of help this part of my life work out better. This channel and a lot of these videos, at least a lot of the vlog stuff, was supposed to help me express myself and get things out there instead of letting them build up within me and get pent up and causing my depression issues to worsen. It's causing the anxiety stuff to worsen. And everything, just anger and guilt and all this kind of stuff that I live with every day. This was supposed to help me. It was supposed to be the only way I could really think of to do it without having to go see a doctor, without having to be put on medicine, without constantly bringing friends and stuff down by always talking and obsessing about my issues and whatnot. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite done that the way I wanted it to, but it's helped a little bit. But I have to take care of some things, and maybe this will become a bigger deal for me again, but that's why I kind of have to drop a few things. I have to stop. For a while there, I was like videos every day, or videos, 2 or 3 or 4 videos a week, because I always felt like I had something to talk about. I tapped out on a lot of that stuff, and then I've personally had issues that have kind of grown and festered for a while, and all that kind of stuff has just pushed this to the side in a lot of ways. But I was almost gonna wrap this video up, and I was like, I haven't even talked about the time that my dad was here, so I'm gonna talk about that a little bit now before I finish this video up. So my dad came into town. I want to say it was maybe April 1st or right around the beginning of April. He showed up in town, and we hadn't talked for going on close to a year. The last time that he and I had actually talked was when he was in town last year. He had gotten my oil change, and I think that was sometime in March or April of last year. He called a few times, but I never called him back. He wrote me a few letters. I never wrote him back. I wanted to. I was just putting it off, and the anxiety stuff was rising. Things weren't going good for me here. They haven't been for a while. Financially, I've been stretched, even though I buy all kinds of bullshit all the time. It's part of the reason why I'm in the issues that I'm, dealing with. And it was just too much. I just couldn't call and talk to him and let him try to pile it all on top of himself and stress out over stuff even more, considering the things that he's always dealing with in his own life. I didn't want to add to that, even though not hearing from me and not talking to me added to it in a different way. I couldn't listen to him on the phone saying, this is always happening, and I'm struggling and sacrificing, and you're 40 years old, and you should, and just all the kind of stuff that he might have said, has said in the past, or whatever. I didn't want to hear it, so I just didn't talk to him. So he came to town, and we had to kind of talk. And basically, in a nutshell, the experience was him going above and beyond and helping me out in a million ways, which I appreciate and respect, and I love him for all of it. He paid money towards my rent, towards bills that were way overdue, did all kinds of work on my truck, trying to fix it up, either trying to make it sustainable for me for a few more years, or something more appealing for somebody to buy and then trade and get a car or something like that, because I really need to get away from driving a truck. Insurance is higher. Gas, costs more because trucks are gas guzzlers. Looking for something to kind of help me out in those areas. And he did all this stuff, and slept in his van and truck stop parking lots and Walmart parking lots, to one, save money on hotels and motels, but two, he stayed over here a few times at my house, but he was so worried that my landlady was going to be upset for him being here, that she was going to think he was moving in or something like that, and he didn't want me to lose my place or get in trouble for anything. So he would sacrifice in that way for a month while he was here, sleeping in his van, having really nowhere to go during the day. And I know it was tough on him. And so I feel petty for complaining about the times when I would be on my days off and he'd want to go look at cars and go do this and go do that. And I'm just so naturally inclined to hole up here in my little cave and watch YouTube and play games and disassociate from the rest of the world, that it stressed me out and caused a lot of anxiety for me, even though he was doing all these great things for me. So I realize that that's a bit of a selfish thing for me to do and how to feel and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. That's just how I am. It's not cool, but it's who I am and how I am. So in the end, we got a lot of work done on the truck. We have not necessarily it's not sold / traded for something new for me, but my dad has a new plan for that. He always has a plan, but he had to get out of here because he was just going crazy sitting around in this town, not really having much to do. Hopefully, there's a possibility that he might sell his van. He'll take the truck and use the money from the van to get me something new, and everybody will hopefully be happy. It would definitely be a portion of my life that would have some resolution to it. But the other thing I did, I guess, kind of want to talk about has to do with that other part of life for me right now, which is trying to be happy, trying to find where I belong and what I'm supposed to do, and because I'm obsessing a whole lot about being 40 now and watching life kind of pass me by, which it has all my life, really. But I don't mind kind of being a guy who stands on the sidelines, but there are just a few things in my life that I would love to have, and that's where it hurts, knowing that I'm 40 years old now. I'm in a new phase of life, and a lot of people will frown on a guy like me who lives like this. And all I want to do is just find that one person in my life who would love and care for me and accept me for who I am and not judge me for all of this kind of stuff. And it's super hard. I guess it doesn't really matter whether I do or don't ever talk about a particular thing that I still live with every day. But I have went back to a stupid dating website that I was a part of a couple years ago, and I've just looked at it a little bit. I had a particular person who lives around here who I've always kind of liked and been curious about asking that person if they would ever be interested in going out or something like that. And unfortunately, she had somebody in her life recently who was really, really important to her, and they had a relationship that was just starting to bloom, and sadly he passed away. And I'm like, that's really, really tough. That's really horrible. I like, kind of makes me hurt inside just to know that somebody that I like and cared about, and as a friend and whatnot, but with the idea that maybe something more could be there at some point, and that for her to be happy with somebody and have something like that happen, that's just crazy. It's just crazy to think of life being that fragile. And so it's like, well, I guess what I'm getting at is there's a horrible, selfish part of me in the back of my mind that's like, she's available. I know that's a horrible thing to say. That wasn't the first thing that I thought. I wanted to reach out to her in some way, and I was just afraid that I might try to wrestle that into, well, hey, I'm here, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to try to take advantage of some horrible convenience. She may take a long, long time to heal from that, and she'll never be over it. I'll never be over some of the things in my past. I know that. It's just trying to figure out how to move on and move forward with that, because for me it's been years. This is fresh for her. I realize now that must just make me feel, or make me sound like a total monster, but that's not really how I meant it. She was someone that I just kind of stopped thinking about in that way because she was involved with someone, and now it kind of brought it back into focus. But it also started to make me think of something else. Just in general, I've been thinking about this. All these things that people say, like, if you can't learn to love yourself, how can you expect someone else to? Okay, that's fair enough. But at the same time, don't we always say, learn to love and accept one another for who you are? Wouldn't people like me who are depressed and who don't think much of themselves and don't have confidence and who deal with social anxieties and depression to, a maximum extreme, can't those just be considered flaws that someone else could look over and say, well, there's still a really good person deep down inside of you. Why do I have to love myself? Why do I have to be happy with who I am or whatever? If I was happy in a relationship, maybe some of that other shit would turn itself around. Why do I have to get up every day and look in the mirror and say, you're an awesome dude, let's go tackle this day? No, I'm more likely to think to myself, it's another day going to that dreary job, dealing with so many cranky, irritating people, and watching everybody else have a life of their own, and knowing that my anxieties hold me back from being that person. Not just a matter of, just go out and do it. Anxieties and stuff like that cripple you in a lot of those ways. I can go to work and talk to people and be informative and be helpful and all that kind of stuff because it's my job and it's because what I'm used to, and it's an act. It's like being an actor. It's not really entirely who I am. At least I don't believe that that's who I am. It's sort of a rehearsed thing that I've now done for 13 years at Walmart and 18 years in general of my life as a retail associate. It's routine. It's why I think people who they have a lot of problems with relationships and dating and stuff in the beginning, but once you get your feet underneath you, once you have the experiences a few times, it's a little bit better for you. Well, I've never really had those experiences, and I'm 40 years old now. So it's hard for me to go out into the world and approach, women and ask them out and be confident and hope that this is the kind of package that they'll embrace and appreciate in the end, in the long run. I don't understand why I can't live by that mantra. I think it was Marilyn Monroe who said, it's like a quote that has stuck with me for a long time now. It said, if you can't accept me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. I may be paraphrasing it a little bit, but it's such an amazing concept. We all have flaws. We're not perfect. Don't tell me that I have to love myself or I should have a more positive attitude about stuff when we're also telling everybody to love and accept one another for who you are. Because I'm making myself feel like shit every day for being this person that I am. I actually make myself feel like shit because I don't like who I am, when I should be accepting of the fact that if I don't want to like myself, who fucking cares? Why should you care? Why should that person care? Why should that person care? Why should anybody care if I'm not happy with my life, if I'm not happy with my situation now? Sure, I could take hold of my situation and change it, but what I see as the path for me to be happy may be a completely different thing than what 99.9% of the people in this fucking world think should be your path to happiness. I'm down in the dumps. I'm grumpy. I'm depressed. I don't like myself. I'm not happy with who I am. I'm not happy with how I look. I'm not happy with this beard and this bald head and this fat belly. I'm not happy with any of that. Sure, I can change that. I can shave the beard. I can exercise a little bit. But I can't change my frame of mind until my situation has changed in some other way. And not just change like, oh, well, just change it then. But like, be in a certain situation. I could have a better job, I could spend more time with my kid, I could do all these and that, all this and that, and all that kind of stuff that most people would say, but that necessarily won't put me, this person right here, and everything that I think about and the places that I put myself and say, this is what makes me happy, this is who I am. Those things may not make me happy, and people should understand that. I have a certain vision and a certain path of what I would like to be happy, and the number one thing on that list would be a happy, loving relationship with someone who accepts me. Now, I know that I can't have that until I put myself out there. That's my biggest hurdle. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of acceptance. I'm afraid of somebody liking me for certain things and then maybe seeing all this and not liking it. I'm afraid that someone might like me, but the more I spend time with them, I may not like them. Then I have to freaking let them down. I have to break up, and I have to go through all that stuff. That's not necessarily the most awesome thing that anybody ever has to do, but some people are used to it because they've been through it, and they know how to move on and move forward in their lives and progress. I don't. So I'm held back by all this stuff, all this weight of stuff. Should I put it on myself? No. But do I have the ability to help that? Not really. You may think that I do, but I don't. I really don't think that there's anything else that I can do. Feel this weight on my shoulders. I hate it. I'd love to change it. I don't know how to make it change. But those people who say just change it, just change your way of thinking, are so full of shit. And I'm so tired of hearing it. My friends and family who care about me and love me, and they give me advice and whatnot, I accept it. I appreciate it. I'm not going to say anything bad to them. But that kind of stuff, like just go do it, just go grab it, just go take it, just go have it, just go be it. They come from a completely different world than the one that I live in. And that's just the way that it is. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on some things, a little update and whatnot. Maybe there'll be more vlogs more often. Maybe there won't. Maybe there'll be more videos in general. Maybe there won't. I have a pickups video to do. I don't know if I'll do it tonight or if I'll do it in the next few days, whatever. It'll be up at some point, though. But anyway, that's it. I've wasted enough time over here, and I'm starving. It's time for dinner. So thanks for watching. If you watched all the way through to this, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.